The themes in your video, which explores William Blake's The Schoolboy and Guy Tyrolean's Prayer of a Black Boy, share a striking resonance with Pink Floyd's Another Brick in the Wall, Part 2. Both your analysis and the song serve as critiques of institutionalized education, though they approach the subject through different cultural and artistic lenses. Common themes: the cruel eye and strict discipline. In your discussion of Blake's poem, 352, you highlight the cruel eye of the schoolmaster that drives joy away. This directly mirrors the song's famous opening lines, "We don't need no education, we don't need no thought control," which protest the rigid, soul-crushing discipline of the British school system. Dehumanization and loss of individuality. You describe the little ones spending their day in sighing and dismay, 259, emphasizing how their natural curiosity is suppressed. Pink Floyd visualizes this through the metaphor of students being just another brick in the wall, individual identities being molded into a uniform industrial structure. The classroom as a cage. You pose a central question from the video: how can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? 729. This metaphorical cage is exactly what Roger Waters describes in the song, an environment where dark sarcasm in the classroom and thought control prevent the youthful spring, 843, of creativity from blooming. Points of divergence. Resistance versus resignation. While The Schoolboy and Prayer of a Black Boy focus on the internal sadness and the desire to be elsewhere, like the forest or the summer morning, 1510, Another Brick in the Wall is more of an outward rebellion. The song's anthemic quality and the imagery of the music video, children revolting against the teacher, suggest a more aggressive defiance compared to the drooping and anxious posture you describe in the poems, 537. Cultural context. Your analysis of Prayer of a Black Boy introduces the layer of racism and colonialism, 1340, where the education system is not just rigid but foreign. Pink Floyd's critique is more focused on the class system and industrial era conformity within Western society, rather than the imposition of a foreign culture. Your instructional perspective. Interestingly, you conclude your video by advocating for a balance. While learning should be as fun as possible, you note that there must be discipline, 1228. Pink Floyd's song is more of a pure protest against the type of discipline used at the time, whereas your video suggests a pedagogical path toward mastery that integrates enjoyment with necessary structure. Videos referenced The Schoolboy by William Blake and Prayer of a Black Boy by Guy Tyrolean. Pink Floyd, Another Brick in the Wall, Part 2, official music video. Comparing your analysis of D.H. Lawrence's Money Madness with Sartre's 1984 classic, Smooth Operator, reveals a fascinating dialogue between 20th century literature and 80s pop culture regarding the pursuit of wealth and its effect on the human soul. The collective madness versus the individual operator. In your video, you discuss Lawrence's view that money is a vast collective madness, 041. You explain how the multitude is mad, and every individual carries a grain of insanity regarding wealth, 124. The contrast. Where Lawrence sees a frantic, trembling collective fear, Sartre's Smooth Operator depicts a singular, composed individual who has mastered this madness. The protagonist of the song is coast to coast, LA to Chicago, moving through high society jet set circles with a minimum of waste and maximum of joy. He is the embodiment of the gentleman culture that can sometimes mask the underlying madness you describe. The cruel power and moving in circles. You highlight the fearful cruel power money has over men, 413, and the ancient psychological fear of being stripped of a pound of flesh, 5 o'clock, if one cannot pay. The parallel, Smooth Operator, captures the lifestyle that this cruel power buys. The song describes a world of limousines, business halls, and late-night calls. However, while Sartre's lyrics sound sophisticated and smooth, they describe a man who is cold as ice, suggesting that to succeed in this money-mad world, he has had to sacrifice his emotional humanity, much like the delirium and loss of sanity you mention in your lecture, 749. How much is he worth? A central point in your video is the societal tendency to measure a person by their wallet. How much is he worth? Has he no money? Then let him eat dirt, 620. The intersection. The smooth operator is the person society deems worthy under Lawrence's definition. He is loved in 7 languages, not because of his character, but because of his fashionable success and eyes like a diamond. Saad is essentially singing about the person who has successfully avoided eating dirt by becoming a smooth player in the very system Lawrence critiques. The conclusion: sanity versus sophistication. You end by stressing the need to regain our sanity before we start killing one another over money. 947. You argue that basic necessities like bread and shelter should be free to prevent this violence. 845. The difference: Saad's song doesn't offer a solution, it offers a portrait of the glamour that fuels the madness. While your video serves as a warning about the physical and psychological pain of the pursuit of money. 233. Smooth Operator shows how attractive that madness can look when it's wrapped in a velvet suit and a saxophone solo. Videos referenced: Money Madness by D.H. Lawrence, Sundaresh S.S., Saad, Smooth Operator, official video.